It's summer in Burlington, and the landscapers are out. I hope that doesn't ruin the audio. Good afternoon out there in YouTube land. I am Cigar and Bar, and welcome to Pipe Corner. Today I'm going to be following up on a couple of things that I've mentioned before. Notably, the Anglican Vicar was a tobacco that you saw me blending the other day. Today I'm going to be smoking it, giving you some of my tasting notes on it. And I'm going to be smoking that in my Comoy Prince that I purchased at Paul's Pipe Shop in Flint, Michigan, which I also mentioned the other day. This was the pipe that I saw on their website and immediately fell in love with. So we're going to talk about this one. As I mentioned in my other video, the link for which will be up there, the Anglican Vicar is a pipe tobacco of my own blending, which is half Bell's Three Nuns and half Presbyterian mix that I have seasoned or topped with a little bit of 15-year-old single malt whiskey and a blend of tea. So there's a little bit of tea in there, a little bit of whiskey in there. The Bell's Three Nuns is fairly sweet, and the Presbyterian is fairly smoky. So the overall effect is quite nice. It's sweet and smoky with a little bit of floral from the tea and a little bit of brightness from the whiskey. It really does make a difference. Now, in the video where I was blending the Anglican Vicar, I was talking about how that particular jar was going to be a gift to a fellow historical reenactor of the 1871 Anglo-Zulu Wars. We do the 24th Regiment of Foot, made famous at Rorke's Drift and San Luana, made famous in the movie Zulu, starring Michael Caine. That was the major battle of that period, and it is the period that this one particular group reenacts. He was giving me his Foreign Service frock, so the red coat, and you'll be seeing more of that because I did shoot video footage of that weekend. The weekend has just passed, and I gifted him that jar of tobacco in exchange for the coat, and he was very pleased for it, and he really liked it. So I was glad that went over well, and today I'm going to give you some of these tasting notes. Very nice in the light. The deep sweetness to it. A little bit of breadiness, a little bit of raisininess. A little bit of brightness. That brightness is there from the bit of the whiskey and the tea. So onto this pipe. It's a beautiful example. I'm going to post a close-up in the video. I love the Prince style. There, you can see that shape better right there. That sloop to the stem is very nice. I loved the two-toned band on this, the gold with the deep blue right in the center of the ferrule there. Beautiful pipe. I loved it. Saw this on their website when I knew I was going to be cruising through Flint, Michigan a little while back, and decided that I had to have it. I went in. First time in there, I was like a kid in a candy store. It was really cool. And the attendant came up to me and said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Oh, in a minute, I just need to take this in." And take it in I did, until finally I went over to the counter and said, "Okay, now you can help me. I'm looking for Comoy Prince, golden blue ferrule on it. I saw it on your website. It says it was in stock. I'd like to purchase it, please." And the attendant says, "Well, the owner has gone out to a pipe show and taken a bunch with him. I think that might have been one of the ones he took with him." And my heart just sank. I was so disappointed as I really wanted this pipe. So he said, "Let me see what other pipes I can find like that." And I was thinking in my heart, like, well, you can look, but that was the one I wanted. I'm not gonna spend that kind of money on a pipe that wasn't exactly what I wanted. And to my joy, he says, "Here it is." And he found it off in a corner where he wasn't expecting to find it. And I brought it home, and this was my first, and I have to say, finest example of a Prince from my collection. And it came in a really neat wooden box. I'll put a picture of the wooden box up as well. Beautiful wood with velvet liner, and a lovely box for a pipe. And I use it now for pipe accessories, as one does when you have boxes and tins and bags and cases. If you don't use it for what came in it, then you find a way to use them. That would be a good question to ask the YouTube land out there. What do you do with your old tins, your old boxes, your old bags, your old tobacco accessory containers, all the things that you get? Do you reuse them? Do you just collect them? As a photographer, I hold on to them in case I want to use them in a photo, because it's a lot nicer to see the original tin of a tobacco compared to my chicken scratch labels that I've written on top of a mason jar. So if I want to have a photograph of it, I hold on to the actual pieces. So I've got a big bag of them under my desk that I need to put somewhere. It takes up a lot less room than the tobacco under my bed, but there's still a lot of them. They're starting to build up a lot. So what do you do? Do you keep your tins? Do you throw out your tins? Do you reuse your tins? Do you repurpose boxes and bags? What do you do with them? I would like to know. So this tobacco is a nice balance of sweet and smoke. And it does come in that order. There's a Virginia raisin sweetness with a bit of a lift and a floral lift from the tea. And then it finishes on smoky Latakia, and then right in the middle there's this delightful sweet and smoky moment where the two kind of come to the fore together, and it really reminds me of some of the better English blends that I've had, some of the well-balanced Englishes. And then sometimes all throughout, but mostly right at the end, you get this brightness of the whiskey. The whiskey in this one is the Glenfiddich 15-year-old Solera Reserve. So it is not too peaty. It is a sweet, bright, and it is flavored with sherry casks. So we get that sherry flavor in this whiskey, which is really nice. I have had the 12, the 15, and the 18 with some regularity. The 12 is my favorite baseline single malt sipping whiskey. The 18 I find is a much mellower version of the 12, but for my money, if I'm going to spend more money than I will on the 12, I prefer the 15 to the 18 because that sherry cask flavor just gives it something else, and it's very nice. And it does lend a hand in this particular blend as well. It's very nice. It almost feels like it's going to go to a Perique place with its spiciness as the Latakia comes in. But then that just tapers off and you're left with a nice, cool, smooth Latakia. So this might be a good blend for people to try, if you want to try blending your own. This might be nice for people who want to have a little bit of Perique, but not a lot of Perique kind of flavor. In the late bowl, there's just notes of baking spice on the finish. Little bits of baking spice almost into a spearminty kind of place. You know, where cinnamon begins to cross over into something that's almost like a mint. There's something in that spicy profile that is shared by both. And it's a wonderful synthesis of flavors. Well, I hope you're all having a wonderful day out there in YouTube land. I'm going to finish enjoying this pipe, and then I'm going to get on to doing something else that I probably should be doing instead of this. I've got a lot of chores to do. So I'll let you relax, enjoy, and I will see you next time in Pipe Corner. I am Cigar and Bar. Cheers.